Hey everyone, it's Paul Stevens from iGo Sales and Marketing here again with another SuiteCRM tutorial. If you find my tutorials useful, please like and subscribe down below. It makes it much more helpful for others to find the content, and it makes me making more videos. So today we are going to cover probably one of the most important features of SuiteCRM that most people, especially new users, don't configure properly or know how to use it or understand the power and importance of it. And that's the dashboard. Okay, so today we're going to cover how to arrange your dashboard, how to add new dashlets, how to add new tabs, how I use the dashboard to keep myself organized as a salesperson. And have what I need to see there to know what I need to do today. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I've logged into the dashboard. I'm using SuiteCRM at 8 at the moment, but all this stuff is exactly the same for SuiteCRM 7. I'm trying to do my tutorials in SuiteCRM 8 where I can. SuiteCRM 7 I still really like and enjoy. And there's still lots of features that haven't been moved over to SuiteCRM 8, but I'm trying to wean myself off of SuiteCRM 7 like I'm sure everybody else is, and try and get into SuiteCRM 8. So anyway, long story short, we're going to do this in SuiteCRM 8. So the first thing about the dashboard is it's customizable to you, the user. Okay, other platforms like Salesforce, for example, kind of have a different philosophy when it comes to dashboards. It's like, this is the dashboard everyone will see. Okay, that has some benefits, and I often get that request from clients. But the SuiteCRM way of doing things is give the user the ability to configure it the way they want. Okay, which is, in my opinion, better, but that means the sales rep, or you, or the sales manager, whoever's watching this, needs to be trained on how to use it properly to set it up for themselves. So hopefully this video will help you today. All right, so that's my big long intro. First things first, most people don't understand right away that you can drag and drop and move these things around to wherever it makes sense. Okay, so that's, insight number one. What do I like to do? Okay, so I use meetings, for example, like if I have to have, whether it's a call or an in-person meeting, it's irrelevant. If I have to meet the person, like I have to talk to them either on the phone or in person at Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m., that's a meeting. Okay, if I have to follow up on a quote sometime around Tuesday, okay, that's a call. Okay, so that's how I use it slightly differently. So calls are kind of like a reminder to do things, to make a call to the person, and meetings are a definite time, so I need to be there at that time. That's the way I use it. Not everybody uses it the same way. I've seen some people make tasks to call somebody back, and then, that's just like the worst of all ways to do it because you make a task to call somebody. So let's think about that for a minute. You have to generate a task, then you have to complete the task. Then once you've called the person, you have to create a call record that you had a call, right? When it's just easier to create a planned call for, like, let's say next Tuesday, and then subsequent to that, when you make the call, just complete the call and add your call notes, right? It's one step, it's simple, it's easy. So that's how I use it. It's a real time saver. And if you want to organize your day, so I always have meetings right at the top, okay? Because, and this is all demo data, so I didn't miss the meeting 08, 09, 2024. This is just old. This is test data so that we can work on it. But I like to have my meetings right at the top because those are time definite. I have to be there. I cannot miss them. Okay. calls I'll generally have below that. Okay, so I know what calls I have either coming up or what calls are scheduled or overdue kind of thing. And then I like to have my leads, and I'll show you how to configure this for new leads in a moment. But generally, when you get a new lead, you need to follow up on it, right? So that's super important. Like to have those at the top. Okay. Activity stream, I don't find super useful. Some of my clients use it, and it's a way of them knowing what's going on. But I would keep that down. Accounts again are not super important in terms of driving your daily activities, which is kind of how I use the dashboard. And if you want to see your accounts, it's just as easy to go and view your accounts, right? So I don't find that one super useful, and it just kind of clutters up. So I'm just going to click on the X here, and that's how you remove a dashlet. Okay, so that one's gone. I don't find that one useful at all. And like I said, the activity stream, I don't find that super useful. I don't want it. So I'm going to just click on the X and get rid of that one. Okay, so now I've got at the top like things that I have to do today, like meetings or upcoming calls or leads that I have to deal with. Okay, or open cases that I have to solve for my clients. And once I've sort of my workflow is deal with the meetings because they're time definite, make the calls that I have to follow up on, process my leads that are new leads, and then deal with any casework I have to deal with, like customer's got a problem, I have to solve it. And then the next thing is I got to work my opportunities. So where are they at? What stage are they in? How can I move them forward? Okay. And if I'm done all that, then it's time to prospect. Okay. Then I can go and prospect new leads. Okay. So that's my workflow, and it seems to work because you're doing the most important things first. And then, you get those out of the way. They're time definite. They have to be done. And then whatever time is left at the end of the day, you're prospecting. Okay. Or some people like to do their prospecting at the beginning of the day and then do the rest of the stuff later. Whatever works for you. But the point is that you can organize this in a way that works for you. So that's moving them around, getting rid of ones you don't need or want. So let's look at trying to customize these a little bit. Okay, so in meetings, the default may be slightly different from this, but if you click on the little icon here, the gear icon for settings, you can change this stuff around so that it makes sense for you. Okay, so my meetings tends to be a proper title, but maybe you're a sales manager. Okay, so let's configure this for a sales manager instead. So right now it's configured that they're my meetings. Okay, and I'm displaying 5 rows, but maybe I want to display 10 rows. Okay, and the columns that it's showing is close it, so that's the X, right, to complete it. The subject, who it's related to, the start date, and the accept status. You don't really need any more than that. If you have custom fields or whatever, you can also, add them to other fields that you can use in the columns that are displayed here. Okay. Just word of warning, there are a maximum number of columns. I forget exactly how many, but like you can't put like 20 different columns there, for example. But you can move stuff back and forth and put the columns there that make sense for you. Okay, so in this case, we're just going to show open calls, right? So you don't really need to see meetings that have been held. You want to see meetings that are planned, right? So they haven't occurred yet, and these are the meetings that are on the schedule that are still open and you have to have. Okay, so you probably want to if you have lots of meetings scheduled, like between now and 5 months from now, you don't need to see all of those, right? So you might want to do something like meetings this week or something, right? Or this month, or tomorrow, or today, or yesterday, or those kinds of things. So this month would typically work well. Just keep in mind when the month switches over, if you, like, for example, it's the 31st and you have a bunch of meetings that you haven't closed and completed yet, that on the first they won't show in your dashlet. So just keep those kinds of things in mind if you're using these kinds of filters. But in general, maybe you want to just want this year sort of thing, because you're only really worried about the open ones, and you're only going to see the first 10 anyway, so it should cover the stuff you have for today and tomorrow, right? Okay, so all you need to do is save that, and now that's what your dashlet is going to show. Okay, so let's make a case that you're the sales manager, okay, and you want to see the calls or the meeting scheduled for all of your reps. Okay, so we're going to configure this a little bit differently. So first of all, we'll go to the settings, and then we might want to go my teams. Oops. Just have fat fingers there. My team's meetings, okay? And you might want to also put over here the user so that you know whose meeting it is, because it's your staff, right? And then you want to see planned, right? And then you would go, and I'm holding down the control key, you would select the staff that you want to see who the meetings are that are assigned to, right? And you want to uncheck only my items, because you want to see the ones that are selected that you've assigned to in the filter, okay? So as a sales manager, you would then see, if I save this, you're going to see my team's meetings, okay? Now, I don't have any data in there to show you that, but that's how you would have your dashlet set up if you're a sales manager, to know what your team's doing. And you may want to know, how many meetings did my team do this week, right? So this is my team's meetings, but let's say you want another one, okay? So I'm going to show you how to add a dashlet. So up here in Actions, we're going to go to Add Dashlets, and we are going to have a look for my meetings. And I often find this is like looking for something in the fridge. I can never find what I'm looking for, but there it is, my meetings, okay? So you'll see it added it. I can just close this. And so now I have another my meetings here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to edit it. And again, let's say I'm the sales manager. My team's completed meetings. Okay. And same thing, I want to know who the user is. Probably it would make sense to add this over in the columns that I'm going to see, right? And then in this case, again, I don't want only my items. I want to see everyone. Well, not everyone's. I'll pick the ones that are assigned to. And then I will click on held. Okay, so I want to see just the meetings that happened. Let's say, this month. Okay. Or even today or yesterday, or whatever you want to do. It would be nice if it had one here that was this week, but anyway, let's say this month, and then I'm going to select a couple people, okay, whoop, like that, and I'll save it, okay, and you'll see I've got the user column here, and it will show my team's completed meetings if I had any, okay. So that's how you can configure these. So whether you're the sales rep or the end user, or you are the sales manager, you can see that it's super powerful way of using your dashboard to immediately, when you log in, have the things that are super important to you come up right away. Okay. Calls are the same way. So again, you would want to do planned calls, my calls, and you'd want to pick, typically the way I'm using it, again, it's kind of like a reminder. So I want the calls for the last 30 days up until today, because sometimes I don't get to them. Like maybe I have a couple calls that I kind of wanted to do on Tuesday, but I don't do till Wednesday or something, right? So having a start date for the last 30 days kind of makes sense, because it's kind of like, what do I do today kind of stuff. So I'm not super interested in what calls I have to do next week, right? I'm interested in what my to-do list of calls are, okay? So that's how I like to set this up, so that I know what calls I have. And again, if I was the sales manager, I might want something different. Like I would uncheck this, I would check like I did with the meetings, check the sales reps that report to me, and then I might want to see like what are the calls they're doing today or tomorrow or whatever makes sense for you, right? And then you would obviously change the name, and you would add in the user as well. Okay, so that would be a good way to customize calls. Okay, cases, same idea. Do you want to see your cases? Do you want to see, all cases? Do you want to just see your team's cases? You can configure that, again, the way that you want to see it, okay? Opportunities are the same way, okay? So, again, same idea here. If you want to see all of only your opportunities, okay, you would click only my items here, okay? And again, you have a bunch of different columns here that you could add, like, what's the next step, for example, so that you can just sort of go through them easily. You might want ones of just a certain sales stage. So you can see here I have all the open sales stages selected, okay? But if you were the sales manager, maybe you want to see any deals that were won like this week, right? Kind of thing. Now I don't have that filter there, but here's another tip. I'm not going to get into how to administer SuiteCRM in the back end, but it's very easy for your administrator to add more fields here that you can filter on. So you might want to have here like the close date or the expected close date or something like that. As well, and you could see any open ones that are past the close date, or any open ones that have closed and when did they close on, kind of thing. So you can make these dashlets super specific to what you want, and use it to manage your team. You can use it to manage your day, and it makes it really easy. Okay, so leads is another one. So you're going to want to follow up on your leads, but you don't want to see all the leads, right? Like, you just probably the ones that you want to deal with today are the new leads, right? Because if any lead that you had previously called and requires a follow-up call, you would make a scheduled call to follow up with them and deal with that differently. Okay, so what I would do here is I would make, my new leads, okay? And I probably want the lead source, okay? So I know like they came in from the website, or it was an inbound call, or whatever. And maybe I've got the person's office phone here, email address, their name, their job title. If I had like a field like product interest or something like that, that came in from the web that populated the lead, kind of thing, I might want that there as well. I probably only want my items because I'm going to deal with my new leads, right? And I only want status new, okay, because I want to deal with those, okay? And save that, okay? So now I only see my leads that are status new, okay? And it might make sense to, let's see, do we have status here? Add the status as well. Okay. So now you see we have, these are all new leads, and here's the lead source, email address. So I know that I have to follow up with these leads, right? Because they're in status new, and I have to call them, qualify them, and if they are in fact a worthy lead, I'm going to either create a follow-up call for the lead, maybe they haven't converted yet, or I'm going to create an opportunity for them, okay? And then move them through the opportunity cycle depending on how good of a lead it is, right? So, again, you might want to also, if you're the sales manager, like, you might want to say, well, how many leads did my sales reps convert, right? So, again, you would change the title, but you might want to change the status to converted, right? And then select your team members, and, again, select a date, and you could see that, all your converted leads, for example, okay? So you can see this is like super powerful way to present the data. Now, you can see I've got a bunch of stuff here, and the other thing that might be, it might get too much for one page, and you might want to like sort of separate stuff out, okay? So SuiteCRM also allows you to add more tabs. Okay, so this is one tab. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to add a tab. Okay, and let's call this charts, because I'm going to show you how to do charts next. Okay, and you have a choice of having them like one column across, 2 columns across, 3 columns across. So the page that we were just on is 2 columns across, so you can put like 2 sets. But maybe you want to put like 50 charts on a page. You can do like 3 columns and have a kind of like a different kind of dashboard. Okay, but in this case I'm just going to do a 2 column one that's exactly the same as this. I'm going to add a tab. Okay, and you'll see I now have my main dashboard, and up here in the top I now also have charts. Okay, but now there's nothing on charts because I haven't added anything. Okay, so once we've added our new tab and we want to add a report to it, we can just click on Actions and add dashlets to our new tab. Okay, so you can add any of the standard dashlets here. Okay, if you have created reports with the reports module, okay, you can also add those reports as a dashlet. So I'm not going to get into building reports today, but I do have another video on that if you'd like to look that up. And then basically you select reports, and you could theoretically pick one of the reports that you've created and add it to the dashlet. Okay, and it can either be a text report or it can be a graph report. But that's a little bit more advanced than I wanted to get into today, but I just wanted you to know that it is possible. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this one, and we're just going to deal with the standard reports today. Okay, so let's just add a dashlet, and we are going to go to charts. And let's say we want to look at all opportunities by lead source. Okay, that's a standard report. Okay, we can add that. And you can see it shows all the opportunities that come in by lead source. You can also click on this and drill down, and then it'll get you to a report of the opportunities that make up that portion. Okay, so if we go back to our home page here, go back to our charts, you can also have settings on these, and in a similar manner you can maybe you just want to put it for certain sales reps, or you just want to pick certain lead sources. You can customize this report you know, a little bit based on what available options are here. Okay, another popular report is the sales pipeline report. Okay, so if we go to charts, my pipeline, okay, and I don't obviously have any opportunities in this in the system right now, but another popular report, like let's say you're the sales manager and you want to see the entire pipeline, okay, regardless of whose it is, you can select that. So it probably has a time frame in here. So this is showing from, and again, this is test data. So you might want to make your filter like just this month or this year or whatever. I'm going to go back to like 2020, just so that I capture something that you can see on the report. Okay. Okay. So again, here is the sales pipeline by stage. And again, if it was my report, I might do the same thing. Let's just see if there's some data, any data in this one. Okay, and there is. I just have you know, $10,000 in needs analysis. And again, same way as on the home page, you can drag and drop these, move them around to whatever makes sense. Let's see if there's anything else interesting here in terms of reports. Outcome by month is another one, and again, you might want to, so this would be like closed deals by month. I'm not sure if I have any data here, but it's probably searching through everything, so it's taking a while to load. let's see what I have here. Let's go back to 2020, just so that I have some data here. I'm not sure if it's going to get any or not. Again, because this is just a test environment. Okay, it does have some. Okay, so it shows you by month, and then obviously the different colors are the different stages. So again, if you're the sales manager, or even if it's just looking at your own stuff, these are super important reports. There's also the ability, if you hire a developer, someone like me, I can do custom queries and custom charts, and display them based on using Google Charts. So in addition to adding these, let's say you add a tab, okay, and then I'll just call this one test, okay, and then let's say, oh, I don't really want that tab anymore. What I can do is I can edit my tabs, and it doesn't really give you the ability to drag and drop and sort them, which would be really nice, but it does give you the ability to get rid of the ones that you don't want. Okay, so close, and then you can see I just have dashlets and charts. Okay, so you can see how this is a very powerful tool. It's super functional, and it can really get you all the data that you need. I often get sales managers and sales reps wanting reports and reports and reports. But you can get a lot of the data that you need to manage yourself or manage your sales team right on the dashboard. Okay, so that's it. Please like and subscribe if you found the content helpful. I do this for a living. I help people. I was a sales manager myself for many years, and a sales rep, and I sell every day right now for my own business. So if you need help setting this up, contact me. Contact info is down below. I do this for a living. I can help you implement SuiteCRM. I can help you implement automation for all this stuff. I can help you train your sales reps on how to use it. I can help you build a sales machine that's mostly automated, that helps you really close the loop on your entire sales process and implement it in SuiteCRM. So if any of that stuff is of interest to you, please feel free to reach out to me. I do this stuff all day, every day, and I would love to help you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.